everybody, and welcome inside the Pope Activity Center on the campus of Piedmont International University as we get you set for Bruins men's basketball for the second time this week. Tonight at home, hosting the Eagles from Trinity Baptist College up from Jacksonville, Florida. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Shook, set to bring you all of tonight's live play-by-play action as the Bruins look for win number 6 on the season, trying to bounce back from a tough loss earlier in the week on Monday when they lost to Newbury College here at the Pope Activity Center, 90-72 in a game where the final score didn't really tell the story of the basketball game. A game in which the Bruins fell behind a little bit shorthanded on the day, playing without 2 of their star players for most of the afternoon. Fell behind courtesy of a big 16-0 run by Newbury to get out in front in that game, but the Bruins able to rally back in the second half, close to within 6 with about 8 minutes left to play in the game, but a late run by Newbury able to put the game out of reach. So the Bruins, playing against a much higher division opponent in the NCAA Division II Wolves, were able to stay around in that game, hang around, and had an opportunity to really put some pressure on Newbury, but ultimately the Bruins come up short and they drop to 5-10 on the season in that game. Now playing against a team from their own conference in the Eagles from Trinity Baptist College, who come here tonight at 6-9 on the season under head coach John Jones, coming off a runner-up finish over the weekend in the Florida National University Tournament, in which they won their first 2 games before losing to the host school in the championship game on Monday. This is their first game since Monday, so they've been traveling to get up here. And so an interesting matchup coming up here. This is the first ever meeting between these two teams, though they do have a great deal of common opponents this season, including some of the games that the Bruins played earlier in the season against Columbia International University and Warren Wilson College, 2 teams that the Bruins split with earlier during the regular season, but one that the Eagles lost both matchups to earlier this year. So we're just about set. It's the Bruins and the Eagles. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the opening tip after this on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Welcome to Piedmont International University for tonight's matchup between the Trinity Baptist College Eagles and your Piedmont Bruins. At this time, we ask that you please rise and men remove your caps for the prayer and the national anthem. Let's pray. Father God, we come before you completely in awe of who you are and what you do for us every single day, and who you make yourself to be in the mercy you give to us. Father, we put ourselves at your feet, and we're thankful for the love you give us. Work now in these men's lives as they play this game of basketball. In your name, amen.
And now for the starting lineups for the visiting Trinity Baptist Eagles. A 6'6" senior, number 1, Marcus Dixon. A 6-foot junior, Marquise Duncanson. A 6-foot freshman, number 5, Nick Baskin Jr. A 6'2" sophomore, number 11, Jakari Randolph. A 6'4" freshman, number 30, Stephen Branch. And now for the starting lineups for your Piedmont Bruins. A 6-foot junior from Winston-Salem, number 1, Samir Glenn. A 6'5" junior from Jacksonville, Florida, number a 6'1" freshman from Birmingham, Alabama, number 12, Robert Parks. And a 6'1" senior from Winston-Salem, number 32, Colton Bishop.
Just about ready for tonight's matchup. It's the Bruins and the Eagles from Trinity Baptist College. Dave Shook with you here at courtside at the Pope Activity Center. You heard the starting lineups. We'll run through them one more time. First for the visiting Eagles from Trinity Baptist College, 6-9 on the season under head coach John Jones. Number 1, Marcus Dixon, the 6'5" senior in the starting lineup, alongside number 2, Marquise Duncanson. Number 5, Nick Baskin Jr., the 6-foot freshman in the lineup as well, alongside number 11, Jakari Randolph, a 6'2" sophomore. And then ready to round out the starting lineup is number 30, Stephen Branch, a 6'4" freshman. On the other side for the Bruins at 5-10 on the season under head coach Josh Howard. Number 1, Tamir Glenn. Number 3, Kendall Oliver. Number 5, China Jones. Number 12, Robert Parks. And number 32, the hometown kid, number 32, Colton Bishop. The Bruins in the home whites, trimmed in the powder blue and the gray uniforms, moving from right to left across your radio dial, computer screen, smartphone, TV, tablet, however you're accessing today's broadcast on the Bruins Sports Network. And the Eagles in the road gray uniforms, trimmed in the blue and yellow, moving from left to right. Our official puts the ball up in the air. The tap is won by China Jones and the Bruins, and we are underway. Colton Bishop will handle the point guard duties on this opening possession. Gets it to the elbow for Jones. Jones around the screen from Tamir Glenn. Spins into the lane, puts up the shot. It rolls off, but a traveling violation. So the Eagles will get the basketball for their first time tonight. Just underway, no score here in Winston-Salem at the Pope Activity Center. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the second time this week as Bruins basketball back in action before they head down south for a tournament over the weekend. As the Eagles with their first possession, Randolph at the top with the basketball wearing number 11 finds Duncanson. Duncanson matched up in a switch with Tamir Glenn, goes under the screen this time does Glenn. Now comes to the near side and now kicks it back to the top into the hands of Baskin. Baskin now with 2 on the shot clock. Got to fire one up at the last possible second. Hits off the side of the rim on the contested three-point attempt that time by Branch. Terrific opening possession for the Bruins. Defensively, as Tamir Glenn drives the lane, hangs the air, got the ball knocked out of his hands. No whistle for a foul. It rolls out of bounds. Last touch off the Eagles, and the Bruins will keep it. 19:07 to play in this opening half with no score. Bruins will inbound on the baseline off to the right of the basket. Glenn will trigger. As Glenn throws it in the corner for Parks, now comes back to the top for Oliver. Zone defense to open up the basketball game for the Eagles. A little 2-3 look as they come to the near side for Colton Bishop. Bishop to the top for Oliver. Now reverse it to the far side for Glenn. To the top for Parks. Trying to get it inside. Now does right to the free throw line area for Bishop, who will fire a 17-footer. It rattles halfway down and pops out. And the rebound taken away by the Eagles. They'll come back the other direction with Nick Baskin Jr. handling the basketball. Moves it for Duncanson. Now onto the low block. Trying to drive it inside. For the Eagles is Dixon, sweeps across the lane to the far side for Duncanson. Now Duncanson steps behind the screen, launches a 3 and knocks it down. Marquise Duncanson, the 6-foot junior, breaks the ice on the scoring as the Bruins quickly back the other direction, trailing 3-0 with 18:20 left to play in this opening half. Bishop to the near side for Parks, and now to the free throw line area. A jumper on the way from China Jones is up and through. So China Jones gets the Bruins on the board. Had a terrific game on Monday in the loss to Newbury. Makes it 3-2 in favor of the Eagles. Moving from left to right in this opening half. Good defense by Colton Bishop. Knocks the ball out of the hands of Randolph and then off the foot of Randolph. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll go back over to the Bruins, looking to take their first lead of the night. Tamir Glenn will bring the ball into the front court. Comes around the screen from Jones, stops at the top, now comes back for Kendall Oliver right in the middle of the floor. Isolates and tries to drive inside, but is shut off. Moves it outside for Parks, drives it from the wing and banks it in. Robert Parks, the freshman from Alabama, gets the Bruins their first lead of the night at 4-3 with 17:35 left to play in this opening half. Back the other direction for the Eagles. Down low inside for Dixon on the low block on the near side of the floor. Driving it inside against Jones. Sweeps across the lane. Lost the basketball, but they're going to say a whistle and a foul. That's going to go against Jones. Brought his arm down across the arm of Dixon, and that'll get Marcus Dixon to the free throw line. First on Jones and the first on either team in this opening half. Dixon will have a pair at the line, hoping to give the Eagles the lead back. First free throw on the way is up and through. First points of the night for Dixon, one of the leading scorers for this Eagles team. Second one on the way is up and through as well. So the Eagles with a 5-4 lead with 17:20 left to play in this opening half. Now a little bit of full court pressure. The Bruins able to break it without much issue though, as Jones hands it back for Parks, and now the Bruins will get into their set with 22 on the shot clock. A little bit of a different zone look this time for the Eagles, trapping along the wings. Bruins having a little bit of trouble with it. Now move it to the far side. Oliver, a long three, and knocks it down. Kendall Oliver from 2 or 3 steps beyond the three-point line knocks down the three-pointer, gives the Bruins the lead back at 7-5, 16:55 left to play in the half. Baskin with the basketball to the near side for Duncanson. Duncanson around the screen from Dixon, fires an open three and knocks it down again. Second one of the half already for Duncanson. He's got 6 and the lead is 1 for the Eagles at 8-7. Top of the key, looking for another three. This one for China Jones, that's no good. Parks in there battling for the miss, couldn't corral it though. It rolls out of bounds, last touch off the Eagles, and the Bruins will keep it. Get our first substitution of the game as Chandler Rivers comes in place of Jakari Randolph. Parks will trigger the inbound, comes right in for Oliver. Thought about the three, instead drives the lane, kicks it into the corner near side. Glenn a three, hits off the front of the rim, trying to track down his own miss. It bounces into the hands of Bishop, who puts up the floater and scores. First basket of the game for the senior Colton Bishop gives the Bruins the lead back as we move back and forth on the odd number. 9-8 is our score. 16:07 left to play in this first half as Nick Baskin moves it to the far side for Duncanson. And now trying to move it to this near side for Randolph. Pass was deflected. Good job by Bishop again, getting a hand on it. Knocks it away. Out of bounds, though, last off of Bishop, so the Eagles will keep it. 14 on the shot clock. Baskin will throw it in. Gets it in for Rivers, who just checked into the game a moment ago. Now down to 10 on the shot clock is Baskin doing a lot of dribbling. Gets it to the near side for Duncanson. Duncanson matched up with Tamir Glenn, guarding him closely now after those two made three-pointers. 3 on the shot clock. Gonna have to do something with it. Pulls up for the three-pointer, hits off the front of the rim, then off the top of the backboard and out of bounds. Terrific job defensively for the Bruins that time as Baskin forced to just take a desperation three-pointer. Curtis Coleman and Antoine Robinson into the game in place of China Jones and Robert Parks for the first time for the Bruins. Robinson out front with the basketball, part of this 4-guard lineup for the Bruins. As Coleman on that far wing, drives it with the right hand, kicks it up top. Oliver, same spot he made the last one. This one rolls off the front of the rim, and the rebound taken down by Rivers and the Eagles back the other direction. Up this near sideline, little hesitation dribble for Rivers. Good job moving his feet by Tamir Glenn, forces him to bring it back out and get rid of the basketball. Now it's Baskin matched up with Coleman, moves it to the far side into the hands of Branch. Branch to the top for Duncanson. Duncanson with a crossover, right-hand dribble, puts up the floater, might have been deflected by Glenn. Loose ball taken away by Robinson, leads it for Coleman. Coleman takes contact at the rim, misses the shot, got his own miss back. Ball loose on the floor, taken away by the Eagles, and driving back the other way is Duncanson, got his foot stepped on, I think, from behind. Nearly came out of his shoe. It'll be a foul against the Bruins and Curtis Coleman. So the Bruins on top 9-8 with 14:55 left to play in this opening half as we get another substitution. Justin Poitras back into the game for the first time, I should say, for the Bruins. Jakari Randolph returns for the Eagles in place of Branch. Randolph on that far sideline brings it back to the top for Baskin. 20 on the shot clock for the Eagles. Now for Duncanson on the weave out front, finds Rivers, pulls up just in front of the free throw line, hits off to the right of the rim. Rebound to Poitras and the Bruins, who want to run back the other direction. Tamir Glenn with the basketball, finds Bishop, streaks down the lane, into the corner near side for Robinson, up top for Glenn, nearly walked with it, but able to save it. And now we'll back out and get into a set, little double screen at the top, around it from Poitras goes Glenn, but an illegal screen is going to be whistled against Poitras as he stuck his shoulder out a little bit, and that's a big no-no, a big point of emphasis this year about those moving screens. And Poitras is whistled for that one as we get another substitution. Hashim Weston into the game, and Colton Bishop will get a seat with 14:24 left to play in this opening half. Duncanson with the basketball as the Bruins drop into a 2-3 zone on this possession. Baskin with it. Now comes back to the top and reverses to the near side for Rivers. Into the corner, another three for Duncanson, rattles through. Third three-pointer of the game already for Marquise Duncanson. He's got 9 of the 11 points in this game early on for the Eagles, and they lead at 11-9 with 14 minutes left to play in the half. Antoine Robinson on the far side of the floor, around the screen from Poitras, moves it into the far corner. Coleman steps inside the three-point line and knocks down the 16-footer. Curtis Coleman, his first basket off the bench. Eagles having a little bit of trouble getting the ball inbounds as nobody went back to help out Baskin. Now the Eagles with it, tied at 11 with 13:35 left to play in this opening half. Baskin to the near side, Duncanson. Bruins probably want to get up a little closer on him as he's already made 3 three-pointers in this first half. Dangerous entry pass to the free throw line, just able to corral it that time. Jumper on the way from Dixon is up and through. Marcus Dixon, his first field goal of the game. He's got 4, and the lead is 2 for the Eagles at 13-11. Coleman with the basketball, dribbling out front, hands it off for Robinson on the far sideline, around the screen from Poitras. Dribbles into the corner, pulls up for 3, hits off the back of the rim. Long rebound pulled down by Randolph, and the Eagles who want to extend this lead as they come back the other direction. Baskin with it, onto the baseline for Dixon. Dixon matched up with Weston, tries to swing his arms through, no whistle for the foul. Coming back the other direction is Coleman. Coleman is going to be whistled for the offensive foul as Duncanson was waiting for him as that outlet pass was coming. Coleman didn't see him and just barreled right into him. Already the 4th team foul against the Bruins and the 2nd on Coleman. And so the Eagles will get it back with 12:51 left to play in this opening half. 13-11 in favor of Trinity Baptist as we get another substitution. Josh Daniels, who made his debut in spectacular fashion on Monday, comes into the game for Coleman, who sits with the 2 fouls. Daniels from Brooklyn, New York, a transfer from North Carolina A&T. Had some good minutes as the lob up top and the dunk. From Duncanson to Rivers on the alley-oop. Gives the Eagles a 4-point lead at 15-11. Tamir Glenn trying to answer, gets into the lane, drops it off underneath for Poitras. Poitras is tied up underneath the basket. It's going to be a jump ball. And the possession arrow favors the Eagles, so they'll get it back. And now Coach Howard, I believe, is going to call timeout. With 12:24 left to play in this opening half, it will be a timeout. It will be a full timeout, so we'll take it as well. 15-11 in favor of the Eagles. Just about 7.5 minutes gone by in this opening half. We'll be back with more after this on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Ministry and theological education does not have to force you into mounds of debt, uproot your family, or stifle your current church ministry. Piedmont International University's Temple Baptist Seminary offers flexible online courses and affordable tuition prices with Scripture as its foundation and practical ministry.
Our scores. We welcome you back to the Pope Activity Center here in Winston-Salem on the campus of Piedmont International University. The Eagles on top of the Bruins in the early going. Quick timeout by Coach Howard trying to settle his team down and get them focused a little bit more on the defensive end after they had alley-oop a moment ago as Duncanson drives around. Poitras puts up the floater, hits off the front of the rim and the back of the rim, comes off though. Rebound ping-ponged around and comes back out of there to the Eagles. Into the corner for Ross Freeman, who just checked into the game for the first time. Comes back to the top into the hands of Jakari Randolph. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Three-pointer on the way is a little bit short from Rivers. Ball rolls out of bounds on the near sideline, and it's out of bounds back over to the Bruins. So it'll be Bruin basketball with 11:49 left to play in this opening half. Josh Daniels handling it out front. Gets his pocket picked, though, by Rivers. Rivers goes in with 2 hands and throws it down. Second dunk of the game already for Rivers, who's got 4. 17-11 our score. As Robinson brings it into the front court. The Eagle bench fired up on the far side of the floor right now, looking for some defense. Daniels with it on the far wing. Around the screen from China Jones. Comes back to the top for Robinson. Robinson dribbles away, goes away from the screen, kicks it into the corner, an open three for Weston, a little bit short, hits off the back of the rim. It's out of bounds, last touch off the Eagles. So the Bruins will get it back with a fresh shot clock. Weston will throw it in on the baseline. Throws it in the corner for Robinson, had a little trouble with the catch. Dribbles back to the top, nearly got it poked away again, this time by Duncanson. But Robinson able to save the possession, now barks out the play. Skip it to the far side over the top of the zone by Robinson. Spins away from Duncanson, pulls up from the free throw line, hits off the back of the rim. Rebound is tapped up and in. Hashim Weston in there for the tap in. Unofficially, we'll give that to Weston. It'll either go to him or Poitras. Both of them were there. Stops the drought for the Bruins, cuts the deficit to 4 at 17-13. Now back in the other direction, Randolph moves it down to the far wing, just inside the three-point line as Dixon spins his way in on Poitras. Good job by Poitras, though, moving his feet, forces him to get rid of it. Duncanson drops it off in the lane for Randolph. Wild shot that's no good. Hits off the glass and the rebound to Poitras. Bruins back the other direction. Up the far sideline is Robinson. Stops at the top, comes to the near side for Daniels. Back to Robinson. Now into the corner, far side for China Jones. Jones trying to drive it inside, hangs in the air, score it, and a foul, a blocking foul against the Eagles. Foul's going to be against Dixon. The basket for Jones is his second, and he'll get an opportunity for the old-fashioned three-point play. Jones that time just went right around Ross Freeman on the baseline, and the only defender left was Dixon trying to step in and take a charge, but got there late. So one at the line for Jones. Free throw on the way, rolls off the front of the rim, and then in the rebounding action, a whistle and a foul. As Jordan Jansen into the game for the first time for the Eagles. Kendall Oliver back into the game for the Bruins. Out front with the basketball is Chandler Rivers to the near side for Duncanson. Man-to-man defense on this trip for the Bruins, mixing and matching their defensive scheme so far. Cutting right to the rim as Jansen misses the layup, though, on a good little pick-and-roll play. Coming back the other direction is Robinson, sweeps across the lane, goes up and under. Can't get the layup to fall, but a foul. So Robinson will get himself to the free throw line. Good job in transition that time by the Bruins, beating the Eagles back down the floor. And Robinson able to get himself to the free throw line with a chance to tie this game. As the Bruins, after going scoreless for a couple of minutes, now with 4 straight and a chance to make it a 6-0 run. As Robinson's first free throw is good. First points of the game for Antoine Robinson with 9:43 left to play in this first half. Brandon Tucker coming into the game for the Eagles for the first time. He'll replace Marquise Duncanson, who exits with 9 first half points so far. One more at the line for Robinson. Second free throw hits off to the left. A rebound, though, by Daniels and the Bruins. Went up over the much bigger Jansen to get that. Gets it back in the corner, fires an open three, hits off the front of the rim. Rebound taken away on the weak side, though, by the Eagles. Missed opportunity that time for the Bruins. Josh Hughes into the game for the first time as well for the Eagles. Crossover that time by Rivers. Step back jumper on the way is up and through. So Rivers is coming off the bench with 6 points for the Eagles. Pushes the lead back to 3 at 19-16. As Robinson on that far wing with the step back, drives it inside, puts up the floater, a little bit too strong. Jansen in there to influence that shot, the 6'8" freshman from Jacksonville for the Eagles. Far side of the floor is Hughes, comes back to the top on the weave, out front for Rivers. Rivers drives it into the corner. Three-pointer on the way for Brandon Tucker with a hand in his face is no good. A weak side rebound, though, and a putback is no good. Tapped up a couple of times, still can't get it to go, and it's out of bounds. Last touch off the Eagles. So the Bruins dodge a bullet after a couple of second chance opportunities for the Eagles go by the board. So the Bruins remain down just by 3 as Tamir Glenn returns in place of Hashim Weston with 8:49 left to play in this first half. Robinson will bring the ball into the front court, matched up with Tucker. Far side of the floor for Glenn against Hughes, shading him to his right. Glenn takes the invitation, drives it into the lane, kicks it back out for Jones on the wing, hands it off for Daniels, little stutter step into the lanes, hangs in the air and somehow puts it in off the window. Tough shot by Josh Daniels, got knocked down shooting it as well. Coach Howard clapping his hands, likes the strong drive by the freshman Daniels, or the sophomore rather I should say, freshman to the Bruins. As back the other direction, driving it inside is Hughes, layup a little bit short, the tap up is up and through though for Jansen. The big Jansen with his first basket off the bench for the Eagles. Makes it 21-18 as back the other way. Tamir Glenn with the layup, left it a little short. The putback though is good. China Jones in the right place at the right time. Sweeps in, cleans up the mess, and he's got 6. 21-20 in favor of the Eagles. Firing an open 3, rattles halfway down and pops out for Rivers. Battle for the loose ball on the floor. The Bruins come out of there with it. Tamir Glenn up the floor, drives it into the lane, kicks it into the corner on the baseline. Daniels drives the lane, tried to drop it off for Jones, went right through his hands. Eagles with a run out back the other direction as Rivers gets up in the air, can't make the shot. And a late whistle for a foul. It's going to go against Kendall Oliver and the Bruins. As Oliver came in to influence that shot, the officials will say he got Rivers on the arm on the way by, and that's the reason that Rivers missed it. And so Rivers will go to the line for a pair. Crowd really doesn't like that one as Rivers makes the first. He's been an impact player for this team off the bench now with 7 points. Robert Parks and Colton Bishop return as Daniels and Robinson will sit. Second free throw on the way, hits off the back of the rim and the rebound to Oliver. Bruins back the other direction, trailing by 2 at 22-20, 7:30 left to play in the first half. Glenn at the top of the key, around the screen from Jones, dribbles over to the far wing, fires a contested 3, and it gets pinned between the glass and the rim. It's one of those things you couldn't do if you were trying to do it. So keeps it at a 2-point deficit. That'll go as a jump ball, and the Bruins will keep it. 22-20 our score. Bishop will throw the inbound into the corner near side for Oliver. Up fakes the 3, drives the baseline, got hit on the head as he drove by. Couldn't get the up and under layup, but he'll get himself to the free throw line. Coach Howard likes the aggressive nature of Oliver that time, driving and passing up the semi-contested 3-pointer. Gets himself all the way to the rim and gets to the line. So it'll be Oliver. He's got 3 points in the game so far. Chance to tie this one. First free throw on the way. Hits off the back of the rim. Antoine Robinson back into the game. Tamir Glenn will have a seat. One more at the line for the junior. Second free throw on the way is up and through. So Oliver makes 1 of 2 at the stripe. And it's a 1-point game again at 22-21 with the Eagles on top. Still 7 minutes left to play in this first half. Bruins will show a little bit of full court pressure on this possession. Breaking it into the front court is Rivers. Passes out of a trap to the far side of the floor for Tucker. Into the corner, an open 3 on the way for Jansen. Hits off the back of the rim, and Parks has the weak side rebound. Bruins want to run back the other way. Parks across the midcourt stripe, finds Bishop, steps around Jansen, drives the lane, tried to drop it off underneath for Jones. It's off the hands of the Eagles and out of bounds. Bruins are attacking Jansen every time they see him in transition defensively. Parks will throw it in the corner for Oliver. Up top, Bishop, wide open for 3. Knocks it down, Colton Bishop. Bishop with 5 in the game, and the Bruins retake the lead at 24-22, 6:40 to play in the half. Dixon swings it across the midcourt stripe and nearly threw it away. China Jones was a little surprised that ball hit him in the hands and he wasn't able to bring it in, and it rolls out of bounds, hits off the baseline. They'll say no reset of the shot clock, so they'll drop it down to 20 as the Bruins did not have possession of that basketball. So a missed opportunity to pick up a turnover there for the Bruins as the Eagles make a couple of subs. Hughes and Jansen will exit. Branch returns for the Eagles. Up top is Duncanson. Duncanson into the lane for Dixon, driving it on Jones, gets right around him, misses the layup in tight though, and the rebound to the Bruins. Colton Bishop back the other direction for the Bruins, brings it up the near sideline, around the screen from Dixon, looking for another 3. That one off to the right. Parks has the rebound for the Bruins and brings it back to the top for Oliver. Antoine Robinson out front, being watched by Duncanson. Man-to-man defense on this trip for the Eagles defensively. Far side of the floor is Parks trying to get it inside for Jones. Matched up one-on-one with Dixon in the low post. Turns to face. Tries to go underneath, spins to the lane, puts up the shot off the back of the rim. Rebound out of bounds, last touch off of Bishop and the Bruins, and the Eagles will get it back. Still 5:56 left to play in this first half, 24-22. Bruins on top in this one. It's been a back and forth first half to this point as the Eagles calmly able to bring it across the timeline. Here comes the trap as Duncanson gets rid of it for Dixon. Dixon back to the top for Duncanson. Glenn out defending him to the near side for Branch. Branch trying to get it inside for Dixon. Couldn't get it there. Good job defensively by the Bruins. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Driving an inside shot is blocked away by China Jones on the miss by Tucker. Bruins want to run back the other way. Parks to the near side for Robinson. Up top for Glenn. Glenn with the behind-the-back dribble to the free throw line area for Jones. Jones gets tripped going to the ground. No whistle for a foul. And the ball goes back over to the Eagles. I don't think he tripped over his own 2 feet, so I'm not sure how that's not a foul, but nevertheless. Colton Bishop will return. China Jones will get a seat and a high five from Coach Howard. Good job on both ends of the floor for Jones in that last stretch. Clock running, 5:20 to play in this first half. Eagles with the basketball, trailing by 2. Moving it side to side against this full court pressure. Able to get it into the front court is Duncanson. Duncanson dancing with the basketball against Robinson. Puts it on the deck with the left hand. Shut off in the lane. Took an extra step, and it's going to be a traveling violation. Good job again defensively. The Bruins have had some success defensively in this game against this Eagles team, who have done a lot of dribbling, not a whole lot of passing, and that results in a turnover right there. So the Bruins get it back, trying to widen this lead, leading 24-22. Still just under 5 minutes left to play in this first half as Parks swings through, brings it back to the top for Oliver. Looking for another three. That one off the front of the rim, and up high for the rebound is Tucker. Tucker and the Eagles back the other direction. Duncanson with the hesitation dribble, dribbles into the corner, picks it up and now brings it back to the top for Tucker. Tucker matched up with the smaller Glenn, tries to take him to the rim, and then tries to drop it off on the baseline, but nobody home as Duncanson didn't see the ball coming, and it rolls out of bounds on that far sideline. And it'll be Bruin basketball, but first we'll get a timeout, a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. 4:36 left to play in this opening half, and the Bruins, after a back and forth early part of this game, leading at 24-22. As we take a look at some of the leading scorers right now in the ball game, China Jones leads the way for the Bruins with 6 first half points. Colton Bishop has 5, 4 points in the game for Kendall Oliver, and then a couple of points each for Josh Daniels and Robert Parks, as well as Hashim Weston, and then a single lonely free throw for Antoine Robinson. On the other side for the Eagles, not as much balance in the score sheet right now. Chandler Rivers has 7 first half points. Marquise Duncanson has 9 to account for 16 of the 22 points in the game right now for the Eagles. Marcus Dixon also in the score sheet has 4 first half points, and then 2 points for Jordan Jansen to round out the scoring for the Eagles. Out of the timeout, Bruins basketball moving from right to left with still 4.5 minutes left to play. Parks, Robinson, Glenn, Bishop, and Oliver for the Bruins on the floor for this trip. Far side of the floor for Glenn on the wing. Glenn gets it to the top for Oliver. Thought about the three, instead puts it on the deck with the left hand. Drives right around. Layup is no good. Tap up is no good. Ball comes out into the hands of Oliver, though, and the Bruins will get a fresh shot clock and another opportunity. Robinson to the far side of the floor for Parks. Spins around his man. Drives the lane. Hop step. Puts it up. No, but a blocking foul. So Robert Parks will get himself to the free throw line for the first time today. Has 2 points in this first half. Not always a willing shooter is Parks, but has been a little bit more aggressive and will need to continue to be as Malik Morris remains out. First free throw on the way, rolls in. So the Bruins extend their lead out to 3 at 25-22. One more to come for the freshman from Alabama. That one rolls in as well. So 4 in the game for Parks, 26-22, the Bruins on top. 16 fouls against the Bruins, so the next one will put the Eagles in the bonus and at the free throw line for the rest of the half. Passing out of the double team is Rivers, nearly threw it away, gets it onto the baseline, driving it inside is Dixon, lays it up and in. Good job by the Eagles that time, breaking the Bruin pressure and getting numbers back the other direction. This time it's Oliver into the corner. Robinson, catch and shoot 3, hits off the front of the rim, and a weak side rebound taken away by the Eagles and Tucker. Tucker brings it into the front court, matched up against Parks. To the far side of the floor for Duncanson, into the corner for Dixon. Dixon on the baseline, finds a cutting Rivers. Rivers, though, has it poked away and stolen. 2-on-1 for the Bruins. Lead ahead for Parks, hangs in the air, off the window and in with a layup. Good pass by Oliver and a tough catch by Parks, who finished through traffic that time as a couple of defenders came by. 6 in the first half for Parks, 28-24, the Bruins lead. Still 3:20 left to play in the first half. Down low inside Dixon. Dixon with the sweeping hook that's no good, matched up against Oliver. Bruins with the rebound. Bishop ahead for Tamir Glenn. Glenn probing, kicks it up top for Bishop. Back for Glenn. Wide open for three at the top. Hits off the right of the rim. The rebound tapped out of bounds. Last touch off the Eagles. Bruins will get it back. Or check that off the Bruins. Eagles will get it back. Justin Poitras back into the game, replacing Kendall Oliver, who's had a nice first half as Oliver. 28-24, 3 minutes left to play in the half. Chandler Rivers steps across that Bruin midcourt logo, nearly traveled with it. To the far side of the floor for Tucker, to the top for Dixon, now near side for Duncanson, who's been quiet after a quick start to this game. Trying to get it inside, down low, but the pass is deflected and stolen. And then the officials blow the play dead. I'm not sure what for. Some type of foul against the Bruins and Antoine Robinson. I didn't see what happened there. But the officials whistle the foul against Robinson, which is the 7th on the Bruins, so that'll put the Eagles at the free throw line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Jansen returning for the Eagles if Tucker makes his first free throw. Again, just a 1-and-1 opportunity for Tucker. First trip to the line for him tonight. First free throw rolls through. Now the Eagles will be permitted to sub here. And now the Eagles elect not to sub. Second free throw rolls in for Tucker, who makes both. So 2 at the line for Tucker, makes it a 2-point game at 28-26 with 2:40 left to play in this opening half. Bruins on top. Have led for the last 3 or 4 minutes or so as Bishop around the screen from Poitras. Drives inside the free throw line to the top for Robinson. Thought about the three. Instead he drives, puts up the floater. Tried to bank it, no good. Rebound tapped around a few times. Bishop has it in traffic. Forces it up inside against contact, and a foul is whistled. Good job by Bishop that time, just playing through the contact, trying to get it up on the rim. The Eagles wanted a jump ball, but instead it's going to be Colton Bishop at the free throw line. Chance to add to his 5 points in this first half. 2:25 left to play still in the half. First one on the way is up and through. Makes it 29-26. 2:25 left to play in the half. Second one on the way. It's up and through as well. 7.5 for Bishop. 30-26 our score. More full court pressure for the Bruins as Tucker gets it across. Onto the baseline, lost his footing inside did Patrick Jackson, who's into the game for the first time, and that's going to be a traveling violation. So the Bruins will get it back after Jackson loses his footing. Trying to build on this 4-point lead, which matches their largest of the night. Tamir Glenn out front, hands it off on the weave for Parks. Parks now back for Robinson against this man-to-man defense for the Eagles. Goes around the screen of Poitras. Far side of the floor. Parks steps into an open three. Hits off the front of the rim. Rebound tapped up by Poitras, but no good. And it's out of bounds off Poitras' knee. And we'll go back over to the Eagles. Like the effort that time from Poitras. Came out to set that big screen and then nearly had the tap in. But the Eagles will get it back with under 2 to play. Side to side. Tucker able to break the pressure. Gets it to Duncanson on the near side. Duncanson to the high post area for Dixon. Spins around the smaller Robinson. Nice little dump down pass inside Duncanson. Missed the layup though. And the rebound taken away by the Bruins, and then Colton Bishop throws it away. Stolen away by the Eagles. Back the other direction is Jackson. Tries a little hop step in the lane. Should have been a traveling violation. Manages to pick the basketball back up. Hands it off for Dixon at the free throw line, and now a whistle and a stoppage. I believe the shot clock had reset when it shouldn't have, so the shot clock will go down to 19. 1:21 left to play in the half. Tucker at the top, hands it off for Duncanson. Duncanson spins his way into the lane, lost his footing, stolen away by Parks. 4-on-1 back the other way for the Bruins. Parks will take it himself, hangs in the air, no, but a foul. Good strong drive by Parks that time. Had help with him, but ultimately will get himself to the free throw line. Eagles will make a couple of subs. Duncanson will sit after this first free throw. Baskin and Rivers waiting to come back in. First free throw on the way for Parks. Rolls over the front of the rim. Parks now 3 of 3 at the line, has 7 first half points, one of his best offensive outings. Still 1:11 left to play in this opening 20 minutes. Second free throw on the way. It's up and through. Parks a perfect 4 of 4 at the stripe, leads the Bruins with 8 first half points, and the Bruins have their largest lead of the night at 32-26. 1:02 left to play in this first half. Nick Baskin standing at the Bruin midcourt logo. Tamir Glenn watching him to the near side for Branch. Branch back for Baskin, puts it on the deck, tries to spin around the screen from Dixon. Little step back, but an illegal screen is going to be whistled against the Eagles, and the Bruins are going to get it back. Common foul, so the Bruins not at the free throw line, but any foul from here out will put the Bruins at the line, as that's the 7th team foul against the Eagles. Colton Bishop up the far sideline, brings it into the front court for the Bruins, trying to build on this 6-point lead. Poitras out to set the screen. Bishop will step up behind it, thought about the three-pointer. Instead, picks up his dribble, hands it off for Glenn. Glenn out front with the crossover on Branch and the step back, now trying to drive it inside, hands it off for Bishop. Back in the corner for Glenn, an open three, hits off the back of the rim. Long rebound, Glenn's got it back on the baseline, trying to get it for Bishop. It's knocked away, stolen away by the Eagles. Tucker, as the Bruins retreat back defensively, has to bring it all the way back out to the three-point line, and then knocked away by Parks, but it comes right back to Tucker. Tucker and Poitras battling underneath the basket. It's loose on the floor, and it's going to be a reach-in foul over the back, I believe, on Poitras, as he and Tucker were battling for the basketball. No, instead they're going to say a 3-second violation that goes against the Eagles. And so the Bruins will get it back. 9 seconds left to play in the half as Robinson into the front court. Robinson into the corner for Glenn. Steps around a defender, fires a three, knocks it down, and a foul! Tamir Glenn with 1.6 on the clock, knocks down the three-pointer and got knocked down shooting it. And he will get himself to the free throw line for a 4-point play opportunity, as the Bruins now lead by 7 and a chance to take an 8-point lead into the locker room. Talked about it with Coach Howard after the game on Monday. What a tremendous leap Tamir Glenn has taken this season. Free throw is up and good, completes the 4-point play with 1.6 on the clock. Eagles trying to get it inbounds and due for Rivers. Rivers will fire it up from 60, it's no good. And they're gonna say the half will come to an end. So a heck of a close to the first half for the Bruins, who lead it 36-28 after the opening 20 minutes of play. Terrific job by the Bruins to overcome an early deficit and get themselves this lead. And they'll take an 8-point lead into the locker room. Again, 36-28 is our score. Back after this with the Bruins halftime report on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts. That's piedmontu.edu.
As its goal, with concentrations like chaplaincy, marriage and family counseling, leadership, missions, expository preaching, discipleship, and more, finding a program is easy to do. Temple Baptist Seminary at Piedmont International University. Ministry where God calls, seminary where you are. For more information about degree programs and offerings, visit piedmontu.edu.
/concerts. Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts. That's piedmontu.
The NCCAA mission states, "We serve members by setting association standards, developing communications resources, providing regional and national competition, and partnering in outreach to our communities and the world. Bylaws, eligibility, statistics, and championships are all part of being an athletic association. Our services help propel intercollegiate athletics on and off campus. We intentionally place our student athletes and coaches in Christian service projects during championship events to answer the question, what would Christ do in these communities?"
Ministry and theological education does not have to force you into mounds of debt, uproot your family, or stifle your current church ministry. Piedmont International University's Temple Baptist Seminary offers flexible online courses and affordable tuition prices with Scripture as its foundation and practical ministry training as its goal. With concentrations like chaplaincy, marriage and family counseling, leadership, missions, expository preaching, discipleship, and more, finding a program is easy to do. Temple Baptist Seminary at Piedmont International University. Ministry where God calls, seminary where you are. For more information about degree programs and offerings, visit piedmontu.edu.
The NCCAA mission states, "We serve members by setting association standards, developing communications resources, providing regional and national competition, and partnering in outreach to our communities and the world. Bylaws, eligibility, statistics, and championships are all part of being an athletic association. Our services help propel intercollegiate athletics on and off campus. We intentionally place our student athletes and coaches in Christian service projects during championship events to answer the question, what would Christ do in these communities?"
edu/concerts. Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts. That's piedmontu.edu.
Ministry and theological education does not have to force you into mounds of debt, uproot your family, or stifle your current church ministry. Piedmont International University's Temple Baptist Seminary offers flexible online courses and affordable tuition prices with Scripture as its foundation and practical ministry training as its goal. With concentrations like chaplaincy, marriage and family counseling, leadership, missions, expository preaching, discipleship, and more, finding a program is easy to do. Temple Baptist Seminary at Piedmont International University. Ministry where God calls, seminary where you are. For more information about degree programs and offerings, visit piedmontu.edu.
Back here at courtside at the Pope Activity Center, halftime in Winston-Salem on the campus of Piedmont International University, where the Bruins have themselves an 8-point lead over the Trinity Baptist College Eagles. 36-28 is our score. Dave Schick with you here at courtside as we take a look at some of the first half numbers from that opening half of play. The leading scorer in the ball game, I wouldn't say surprisingly, but it's certainly a little bit different, is Robert Parks. The 6'1 freshman from Alabama led the way with 8 first-half points, including a perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Has been a little bit more aggressive tonight on the offensive end, which has been good. Number 32, Colton Bishop, also in the score sheet with 7 first-half points. Gina Jones also in there with 6 first-half points. Kendall Oliver with 4, and then Tamir Glenn, who had 4 points, all of them on one play right at the end of that first half when he hit that three-pointer and then was fouled right before the end of the opening half. Also in the scorebook as well, Josh Daniels with 2 points coming off the bench, Curtis Coleman with a couple, and then Hashim Weston with a basket, and then finally Antoine Robinson in the book as well with a free throw to round out the scoring for the Bruins with 36 first-half points. On the other side for the Eagles, it was Marquise Duncanson, who had 3 three-pointers early on in the first half, but since then has been quiet. He continues to lead the Eagles in scoring with 9 first-half points. Chandler Rivers also in the scorebook with 7 first-half points, 6 for Marcus Dixon, 4 for Brandon Tucker, and then 2 lonely points down at the bottom of the score sheet for number 33, Jordan Jansen, the 6'8 freshman from Jacksonville, off the bench for this Eagles team. So again, 36-28 is the score. At the end of the opening 20 minutes of play, the Bruins returning to the court. The Eagles will join us shortly. We'll take another timeout, and when we come back, it will be the second half of action between the Bruins and the Eagles coming up after this on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
/concerts. Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts. That's piedmontu.edu.
Ministry and theological education does not have to force you into mounds of debt, uproot your family, or stifle your current church ministry. Piedmont International University's Temple Baptist Seminary offers flexible online courses and affordable tuition prices with Scripture as its foundation and practical ministry training as its goal. With concentrations like chaplaincy, marriage and family counseling, leadership, missions, expository preaching, discipleship, and more, finding a program is easy to do. Temple Baptist Seminary at Piedmont International University. Ministry where God calls, seminary where you are. For more information about degree programs and offerings, visit piedmontu.edu.
The NCCAA mission states, "We serve members by setting association standards, developing communications resources, providing regional and national competition, and partnering in outreach to our communities and the world." Bylaws, eligibility, statistics, and championships are all part of being an athletic association. Our services help propel intercollegiate athletics on and off campus. We intentionally place our student athletes and coaches in Christian service projects during championship events to answer the question, what would Christ do in these communities?
Ministry and theological education does not have to force you into mounds of debt, uproot your family, or stifle your current church ministry. Piedmont International University's Temple Baptist Seminary offers flexible online courses and affordable tuition prices with Scripture as its foundation and practical ministry training as its goal. With concentrations like chaplaincy, marriage and family counseling, leadership, missions, expository preaching, discipleship, and more, finding a program is easy to do. Temple Baptist Seminary at Piedmont International University. Ministry where God calls, seminary where you are. For more information about degree programs and offerings, visit piedmontu.edu.
Here at the Pope Activity Center on the campus of Piedmont International University, where the Bruins have an 8-point lead, 36-28 over the Eagles from Trinity Baptist College. I'm Dave Shook here at courtside as we get you set for the start of the second half. We'll switch ends of the floor. The Eagles in the road gray uniforms trimmed in the blue and yellow, moving from right to left across your radio dial, computer screen, smartphone, TV, tablet, however you're accessing today's broadcast on the Bruins Sports Network. The Bruins in the home whites trimmed in the powder blue and gray, moving from left to right in this second half. Eagles will start with the basketball with Nick Baskin out front handling. Moves it onto the wing. Branch with the basketball, enters it in down low for Dixon, sweeps across the lane, misses the layup, and the rebound taken away by the Bruins. Tamir Glenn back the other direction. Glenn on the near wing around the screen from Jones, puts his head down, drives the lane, kicks it in the corner for Bishop. Thought about the three-pointer, instead pulls the ball down, uses the screen from Jones, steps back, fires a 14-footer, and it rolls off. Rebound taken away by the Eagles, and they'll come back the other way. Marquise Duncanson with the basketball, brings it into the front court, speeds around Parks, lost the basketball in the lane, it's stolen away by the Bruins. 3-on-1 back the other way, hanging in the air is Oliver, misses the layup, put back no good, but a foul. And right again, we mentioned Robert Parks earlier, has been stellar so far tonight. Again, making himself a factor on the offensive end, sticking his nose in. And this time will get himself back to the free throw line where he's a perfect 4 of 4 so far tonight. Parks has been a real impact player for this Bruins team. Not normally an offensive threat, but he has been one tonight, as he's now 5 of 5 at the line. One more at the line for Parks. Knocks that one down as well. So 6 of 6 at the line for Parks. He becomes the first player for either team into double figures now with 10. And the Bruins have a 10-point lead to match that at 38-28. Dixon handles the ball across the midcourt stripe, gets rid of it for Brandon Tucker, who just checked back into the game. Tucker gets it back from Duncanson, matched up against the smaller Glenn. Looking for somewhere to go with the basketball. Hands it off for Duncanson. Man-to-man defense for the Bruins. Switching everything on the screens as Glenn now picks up in a switch by Baskin. Moves it into the corner for Duncanson, and then Duncanson is bumped and fouled by Parks. First on the Bruins in the second half. So the Eagles will inbound it on the side. Deep in that corner. Trailing by 10 at 38-28, 18:44 left to play in the game. Comes back in for Duncanson. Parks nearly got a hand on that. Duncanson moves it to the far side for Tucker. Tucker behind the screen from Dixon, tried to get it inside for Dixon, couldn't get it there, instead brings it out for Baskin. Steps back against Glenn, jumper on the way, rolls off the rim, and Oliver's got the rebound. Parks in transition, gets it onto the baseline for Jones, open from 12, knocks it down. Nice easy little jumper for China Jones, and a good find from Robert Parks. Playing maybe his best game of the season right now for the Bruins. Jones has 8, the lead is 12 at 40-28. Far side of the floor, it's Rivers. Trying to get it inside, couldn't get it there for Rivers, instead to the top for Baskin. Matched up against Glenn, now they get it back for Rivers around the screen from Dixon. Up top, Baskin, a 3, off the front of the rim. Good contest that time by Tamir Glenn. The rebound taken away by Parks. Parks lobbing it ahead, but knocked away and stolen by the Eagles. Dixon with the deflection, it's Rivers inside against Bishop, lays it in with the left hand. Rivers, who had a good first half off the bench, had 7 first half points, now has 9 for the game. Cuts the deficit to 10 at 40-30 with 17:40 left to play in the game. Tamir Glenn behind the screen, thought about a three-pointer, instead moves it back to the top and reverses it to the far wing for Bishop. Bishop sweeps across the lane, kicks it near side. Open 3 on the way for Glenn. Pops in and pops out, but comes right back to Glenn. Up top for Parks. He thought about the 3, instead finds Jones for an 18-footer, and he knocks it down. Nice extra pass that time by Parks, who finds China Jones for the second time in this half. Jones joins Parks in double figures with 10, and the lead is 12, matching the largest of the night for the Bruins at 42-30. And that's going to draw a timeout from the Eagles. Coach John Jones wants to talk things over with the Bruins on top by 12 at 42-30. It's a full timeout, so we'll take it as well. 17:09 left to play in the ball game, and the Bruins have opened up their largest lead of the night. It's 12. 42-30 is our score right here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
/concerts. Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts.
Piedmont International University, the Bruins with a 12-point lead at 42-30 as we come back to play. Eagles with a basketball. Basket to the top, into the hands of Rivers. Rivers trying to get it for Duncanson. Bruins have watched him a lot closer since the early part of the game when he made a couple of three-pointers. Rivers puts it on the deck, comes back to the top for Duncanson, matched up with the bigger Oliver. Thought about the step back, but a good job by Oliver moving his feet. One on the shot clock. Eagles not aware of it, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Terrific job by the Bruins moving their feet defensively and forcing the Eagles into a turnover, and now the Bruins will get it back, trying to build on this lead. Josh Hughes will return. Out of the game will go Rivers for the Eagles. Curtis Coleman into the game for the Bruins for the first time in the second half. Comes to the near side for Parks. Into the corner for Oliver, trying to get it inside for China Jones, battling with Dixon. Instead, they come back and reverse the ball back to the top for Jones. Far side for Coleman. Coleman behind his screen, hands it off for Glenn, drives the lane, lost the basketball, stolen away by Hughes. Hughes back the other direction, 1-on-2, doesn't care, drives it inside, misses the layup off the front of the rim, and the rebound to Parks. Parks and the Bruins back the other direction. Glenn thought about the three-pointer, barrels over Duncanson, and it's going to be an offensive foul that time as Duncanson held his ground, as Glenn was thinking about driving to the baseline that time. First team foul against the Bruins in the second half. Eagles will have it back. Baskin will bring it into the front court. Bruins have done a good job keeping the shackles on Baskin to this point. Scoreless in the game is the point guard for the Eagles. Matched up with Coleman on this trip. Now over to Duncanson, matched up with Parks behind the screen for Oliver in a switch. Steps behind it, launches a three, hits off the back of the rim. Long rebound, Parks has it. 3-on-2 back the other way for the Bruins. Parks into the corner, Glenn, catch and shoot three, rattles it in. Tamir Glenn with his second three-pointer of the night. He's got 7, and the lead is 15 for the Bruins at 45-30. Back the other direction, driving it inside is Tucker for the Eagles. Got his layup blocked off the window. Put back, though, is good, and a foul for Baskin. Good job by Baskin being in the right place at the right time for the Eagles, getting that putback and the contact high off the window. A couple of substitutions as Parks and Oliver will sit. China Jones will go to the bench as well. Poitras, Robinson, and Weston return. And one at the line for Baskin to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, and he does, just as we were lauding the Bruins for keeping Baskin off the scoreboard to this point. There's his first basket of the night. Now the Eagles will get a little bit more aggressive defensively, throwing some full-court pressure at the Bruins. They break it easily, though, as Weston drives the baseline from the far side and lays it in. Hashim Weston, 4 points in the game for him. Now nearly a turnover, and it is a turnover. Glenn goes in with the right hand and lays it in. So the Bruins throw a little full-court pressure at the Eagles and come up with the steal and an easy layup for Tamir Glenn. And now we got a whistle and a stoppage. Maybe a clock issue of some sort. That seems to be the case. At least we haven't had as many clock issues as we did Monday, so we're making progress. Bruins make a quick, or the Eagles make a quick sub as Chandler Rivers checks back in, and then the Eagles throw it away. Weston with the steal, shovels it on the baseline. Glenn hangs in the air, banks it in off the window. Tamir Glenn. After a slow start to the game for Glenn, he's got 11 points in the last 6 minutes or so. Going back to the end of the first half, and the Bruins have really opened this one up, now leading by 18 at 51-33. Baskin to the far side for Tucker, to the top, into the hands of Rivers. Goes between his legs trying to drive on Glenn, pulls up from 12 just right of the lane, rolls off the front of the rim. The rebound, Poitras had it, but then had it taken away under the basket. And then a traveling violation inside the lane underneath the basket that's going to go against Hughes and the Eagles. So the Bruins will get it back, leading by 18 with 14:20 left to play in the game. As the Bruins have broken this one open using a late run at the end of the first half, and now to start the second half as well, as Glenn comes to the near side for Weston, pulls up at the free throw line for the jumper and knocks it down. The Bruins offensively, just about everybody playing and shooting with confidence right now, as they have now widened this lead out to 20 at 53-33. Bruins will continue to pressure in the backcourt, nearly a turnover. Able to save it as Hughes got away with a travel on the baseline. Little scoop layup, rolls off the back of the rim, and the rebound to the Bruins and Tamir Glenn. Jackson with the miss there for the Eagles. Glenn takes it into the lane, kicks it near side. Weston a three off the front of the rim, and the rebound taken away by Rivers. Rivers back the other direction, right around Glenn, into the corner for Tucker. Tucker steps around Coleman, kicks it into the corner near side for Rivers. Back up top, Jackson, a three. That skips off the front of the rim, and the rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch off the Eagles and Tucker, and the Bruins will get it back. Josh Daniels back into the game for the first time in the second half for the Bruins. He'll replace Tamir Glenn. Again, has come on over the last 6 or 7 minutes after a slow start to the game. And we're going to get a quick timeout for Coach Howard and the Bruins, just a 30-second timeout with 13:22 left to play in the ball game, so we'll keep it here. Again, a 30-second timeout for the Bruins with 13:22 left to play, and the Bruins with their largest lead of the night. It's 20, 53-33, as we now take another look at the leading scorers in the ball game. After neither team had put anybody in double figures, now the Bruins all of a sudden have 3 players with 10 points or more, led by Tamir Glenn, who has 11 in the game, China Jones with 10, and then Robert Parks also with 10. Hashim Weston having a nice game off the bench for the Bruins as well, has 6, and then Colton Bishop has 7 for the Bruins. The Eagles, after shooting the ball well early in the game, have gone cold offensively, and the Bruins defensively have done a really nice job of making everything difficult on the Eagles, particularly from the outside. After they made some three-pointers early, I don't think they've made one since, and they have not. Out of the timeout, Bruins with the basketball as Antoine Robinson comes into the game. Dribbles it up the far sideline and into the front court, matched up against number 10, Chandler Rivers. Now reverse the ball to the near side for Weston, in low for Poitras. Poitras backing his way in, clears some space, lays it up and in, does Justin Poitras. Poitras that time just overpowering Ross Freeman for the layup, his first basket of the night. Freeman then dribbles into traffic, nearly lost the basketball. Jackson gets it on the baseline for Tucker to the near side. An open three on the way. It's an air ball and a weak side rebound to Poitras. Poitras' outlet pass is deflected. Robinson picks it up anyway, gets it for Weston. Weston gets his shot rejected. Trying to save it in bounds as Daniels, who goes diving into the crowd. Robinson gets his shot rejected again, comes right back out to Daniels. And now the Bruins will slow things down. And I think we have a question about the shot clock. How about Josh Daniels, though, for the second time in as many games, sacrificing his own body on Monday, a really scary moment where he went headfirst into the padding along the baseline, but was okay. This time goes absolutely sprawling into the bench area and then pops right back into the play. Bruins with the basketball, shot clock down to 20 after there shouldn't have been a reset after 2 block shots by the Eagles. As Robinson with the step back jumper on the way, halfway down it pops out. Poitras had a fingertip on the rebound, but it's pulled down by Jordan Jansen back into the game for the first time in the second half. Back the other direction is Randolph, drives the lane, kicks it on the baseline. Jackson gets it to Jansen on the opposite side of the baseline, now brings it back to the top. 15 on the shot clock as Jackson trying to drive it inside on Weston. Little step back jumper just to the left of the lane and banks it in. Patrick Jackson, first basket of the game for him, cuts the deficit to 20, 55-35. Coleman pulls up just inside the three-point line, misses the jumper around the screen from Poitras. Rebound up high for it is Rivers for the Eagles, and they'll come back the other way. Just under 12 minutes left to play as Rivers trying to throw a pass to the far sideline for Brandon Tucker, who wasn't looking for it, as I think he was looking at his coach, John Jones, who was trying to call a timeout. And it's going to be a full timeout, but it's going to be after the turnover, so the Bruins will have the basketball, leading by 20. We'll take the timeout as well. 11:46 left to play in the game. 55-35, the Bruins on top. Back with more after this on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Ministry and theological education does not have to force you into mounds of debt, uproot your family, or stifle your current church ministry. Piedmont International University's Temple Baptist Seminary offers flexible online courses and affordable tuition prices with Scripture as its foundation and practical ministry training as its goal. With concentrations like chaplaincy, marriage and family counseling, leadership, missions, expository preaching, discipleship, and more, finding a program is easy to do. Temple Baptist Seminary at Piedmont International University. Ministry where God calls, seminary where you are. For more information about degree programs and offerings, visit piedmontu.edu.
Winston-Salem as the Bruins out of the timeout get the basketball back. Weston, little turnaround hook shot is up and through. Hashim Weston now with 8 points in the ball game. All smiles on the Bruin bench right now, including Coach Howard. Likes what he's seeing out of some of his bench players in this game, is driving the lane. Nice little shovel pass up underneath, and the layup is up and through for Josh Hughes. Good drive that time by Jackson, and then the little shovel pass. And a good job also by Hughes to finish in traffic that time. Cuts the deficit to 20, 57-37 as we approach the 11-minute mark left to play in the ball game. Curtis Coleman onto the baseline for Weston, trying to back his way in once again. Comes across the lane, little turnaround jumper. Gets blocked out of the air that time by Jansen, who came over from the weak side to provide some help. It's out of bounds, it'll stay with the Bruins. 7 on the shot clock though, as Marquise Duncanson returns, and out of the game will go Randolph. Weston will throw it in, just to the right of the basket. Ball comes into the corner for Coleman. Coleman with 5 on the shot clock, steps back, moves it to the near side for Weston's got to fire it. Bruins not aware of the shot clock though, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. So a little lack of awareness that time for the Bruins, who didn't realize after the shot block that the shot clock did not reset. Turn the ball over, and the ball goes back over to the Eagles. 10:40 left to play in the game. Tucker gets it across for Duncanson. Skip pass to the far side of the floor for Jackson. Driving it inside, hangs in the air, got a shot blocked by Coleman. Coleman then the last to touch it as well as the ball rolls out of bounds on the baseline. Eagles will keep it with 19 on the shot clock, 10:31 on the game clock. Jansen takes the inbounds pass in the corner, comes back to the top for Jackson. Robinson nearly got a hand on that. Now Jackson and Robinson stare at each other as Jackson moves it to the far side for Tucker. Around the screen from Jackson, that should be an illegal screen, and it is. A little bit of frustration for the Eagles as well, with the deficit at 20, 57-37. Coach Jones also not happy on the far sideline, as he's not been most of the evening. Seems like that's kind of his default disposition though, as he's been very animated on the bench, we'll call it. Daniels on the far wing to the top for Jones. Near side for Robinson, behind the screen. Hop step in the lane, step back jumper, rolls off, and the rebound to Daniels, who's been everywhere again. Hashim Weston steps into an open 3, hits off the back of the rim. Now China Jones with the miss. Comes right back for Weston. Touch pass for Robinson into the corner for Coleman. Drives the baseline, kicks it up top for Daniels. Daniels, step back jumper on the way. That's good, Josh Daniels. Good passing that time for the Bruins, getting an open jumper for Daniels. Matches their largest lead at 22, 59-37. 9:30 left to play in the game. Tucker gets around Daniels, gets to the rim, got his shot swatted off the glass by China Jones. Daniels in transition all the way to the rim, and a reach-in foul. It's going to go against the Eagles. Josh Daniels, we mentioned it on Monday, just kind of a tornado of energy. Diving on the floor, diving into the crowd. Defensively seems to be everywhere. Also terrific speed. East or north and south, getting to the rim. Gets himself to the free throw line this time, and he knocks down the free throw. He's got 5 in the game now. Jansen and Tucker will go to the bench for the Eagles. Dixon and, who's that on the baseline down there? Hughes for the, or rather Rivers for the Eagles. Daniels' second free throw rolls off. Weston had a fingertip on the rebound for a moment, but it's taken away by the Eagles. A little bit of trouble getting it across the timeline, nearly stolen away, but able to save it is Jackson. Coleman just missed the steal that time. Far side of the floor, Duncanson knocks down the 3. Fourth one of the game for Duncanson. He's got 12. First one he's had, though, since about the midway point of the first half. First player to double figures for the Eagles with 12. Robinson hands it off for Weston. Now Weston back for Daniels. Daniels crosses over, pulls up for a long 2. It's off the front of the rim, and the rebound taken away by the Eagles. Back the other direction, Chandler Rivers brings it into the front court, and then poking at it from behind is Coleman. He's going to be whistled for the reach-in foul. So the Eagles with the basketball that time as Coleman with his hand in the cookie jar gets caught. And now it's Rivers out front with the basketball. As the Eagles trying to get this under 20. It hasn't been under 20 in a while. Baseline jumper on the way from Duncanson. Falling away. Tough angle from the corner. Knocks it down, and Coach John Jones is going to call timeout for the Eagles. It's going to be a full timeout with 8:27 left to play in the ball game, as Jones and the Eagles hoping to put together a little run and try to put some pressure on the Bruins down the stretch. We'll take the timeout as well. 60-42 our score with 8:27 left to play in the ball game here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
PiU.edu/concerts. Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts. That's piedmontu.edu.
Timeout, Bruins with the basketball as Coleman throws it in the corner for Daniels. Daniels skips it across. It was deflected, but Robinson able to pick it up. Bruins got to get it across the timeline. 3 seconds to do that. But before the Bruins able to get it across, the Bruins called timeout as Coach Howard, I think, was concerned that they were not going to get that ball across the midcourt stripe. And so the Bruins will burn a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout, but we'll keep it here with 8:19 left to play in the ball game. And this feels like a critical point right now after Marquise Duncanson, who had 9 first-half points, all of them very quickly in the ball game. The Bruins did a much better job on him defensively the last 10 minutes or so of the first half. But since the Bruins had built that 22-point lead, they've gotten a little bit sloppy defensively, and Duncanson's now had 5 points in the last couple of minutes or so. And now the Eagles obviously feeling like this is desperation time for them. Are going to get more aggressive defensively and try to force some more turnovers. So the Bruins need to be careful here, but if they can maintain this advantage for the next 2 or 3 minutes or so of game time, you feel like they're going to be able to put this one away. So I think this is more of a preemptive timeout for Coach Howard, just to remind his team, hey guys, we're not done yet. Got to be able to play 40 minutes and keep the focus level where it needs to be in order to put away a team like this. Now with 22 seconds on the shot clock, the Bruins are only going to have 2 seconds to get this ball across the midcourt stripe, so this pass has got to go forward. Really don't want to throw this backwards if you can avoid it. They do get it across for Robinson. Robinson along the sideline is trapped, throws it into no man's land, and there's the steal as Josh Hughes comes up with it. Drives it 1-on-2, hangs in the air. Got his shot blocked, though, by Daniels. Again, is absolutely everywhere. Daniels comes out of there with the loose ball as well. And now Robinson dribbles across the midcourt stripe. Robinson then is tripped to the ground. Got his feet tangled up with Chandler Rivers. So the Bruins will keep it. We'll have a fresh shot clock as well. Josh Hughes comes off the floor. Looks like he might have rolled an ankle. Looks a little dinged up. He'll come out, and into the game will come Brandon Tucker. Colton Bishop returns for the Bruins. And we'll take the inbounds pass from Coleman. Bishop matched up against Tucker. Left-hand dribble, trap is coming, gets rid of it for Jones. Jones gets it back for Bishop. Bishop along that far sideline, gets trapped again, loses the basketball, comes up with it though does Daniels, and Daniels again in the right place at the right time with the shot clock running out, banks it in off the window, and he's got 7. Pushes the lead back to 20 at 62-42. Tucker skips it across the midcourt stripe and then hands it off for Rivers. Rivers out front, Duncanson hands it off on the weave for Jackson. Jackson steps into a long 3 and rattles it in. Patrick Jackson, his first made three-pointer of the game, and the first three-pointer by anybody for the Eagles, not named Marquise Duncanson. Colton Bishop trying to get it across the timeline and does. Antoine Robinson drives the lane, gets it on the baseline for Jones. Bruins in no hurry right now. Content to eat a little bit of clock as Coleman spins his way into the lane, gets all the way to the rim, got his shot blocked, but a foul. .6:58 left to play in the ball game, and Curtis Coleman headed to the line for two. 17-point lead for the Bruins, as Tamir Glenn and Justin Poitras waiting to return after this first free throw for Coleman. First one rattles in. Coleman now with 3 in the game. Daniels and Jones will sit, as Poitras and Glenn return. One more at the line for Coleman, trying to stretch this lead back out to 19. Second free throw pops out. Poitras had a fingertip on the rebound, but Tucker able to pull it in. Eagles come back the other way, trailing by 18 as Tucker drives the lane, hangs it high off the window, wouldn't go down. The tap up, though, is good by Marcus Dixon. Dixon now with 8 in the game, cuts the deficit to 16. So the Eagles look much closer than they've been in quite a while. Still 6:40 left to play in the ball game. The Bruins need to finish this strong as Coleman with the touch pass from Bishop fires a 3, hits off the back of the rim, and Tucker's got the miss. Eagles back the other way, trying to get a little closer now. Rivers with a basketball on the baseline. Duncanson hangs in the air, misses the layup, but the putback dunk for Chandler Rivers. He's got 11, and the lead is down to 14, and now the Eagles feeling confident defensively, up clapping their hands, looking for another stop as a trap coming on Robinson. Gets rid of it for Bishop, onto the baseline Coleman, little 12-foot jumper, hits off the back of the rim. Tucker another rebound. Eagles can make this an 11-point game with a 3 as Duncanson drives the baseline, gets bumped on the way by Robinson. So the fifth team foul against the Bruins in the half. Under 6 minutes to play, the Eagles putting together a little bit of a run. They trailed by as many as 22 in the second half, but have cut the lead down to 14 at 63-49. Kendall Oliver returns. Coleman will sit. Tucker will throw it in the corner. Tucker drives across the lane, lost the basketball. Ball was tapped up in the air. They'll say it was deflected. Jackson with the ball out front with a 3. Step back is no good. Poitras has the miss. Coach Howard wants Tamir Glenn to push the ball back in transition. He puts his head down, kicks it into the corner. Robinson a 3, knocks it down. Antoine Robinson with the 3. Much needed hoop there for the Bruins. Stops the run for the Eagles and pushes their advantage back to 17 at 66-49. Jackson at the top for Duncanson. Duncanson watched by Glenn. Now to the top for Rivers. Picked up in a switch by Glenn. Turnaround jumper by Rivers. Hits off the front of the rim, and Glenn's got the miss. Glenn into the front court. Finds Robinson. Drives the baseline. Far side. Oliver open for 3. He knocks it down. Kendall Oliver. Second three-pointer of the game for Oliver, and just as quickly as the Eagles had cut the deficit to 14, the Bruins have pushed it back to 20 with a 6-0 run. 69-49. We're under 5 minutes to play in the game. On the baseline, it's Dixon driving it inside. Got his shot rejected inside by Poitras, who did a great job holding his ground, and then Oliver coming in from the weak side. The ball is out of bounds off the foot of Oliver, and the Eagles will keep it. 4:45 still to play in the game, but the Bruins now in a commanding position, leading by 20. 69-49. Eagles with the basketball. Shot clock did not reset. 6 to shoot. Jackson catch and shoot from the corner. Hits off the back of the rim. Bishop with the miss for the Bruins. And now the Bruins can eat some clock here. In no rush, up by 20. Tamir Glenn handling out front in between the rings. Glenn spins away from his defender around the screen from Oliver. Comes back to the top for Poitras. Reverse it to the far side for Robinson. Robinson and Duncanson matched up. Now down to 7 on the shot clock as Robinson in trouble. Spins away from the double team. Puts his head down. Gets into the lane. Kicks it outside. Glenn a 3. Hits off the back of the rim. Glenn's got the miss. Drives the lane. Got his shot blocked. Dixon swats it out of bounds, but the Bruins will keep it. Kenneth Williams into the game, as well as Jared Key, replacing Parks and Bishop for the Bruins. Key and Williamson into the game for the first time. Into the corner, trying to get it for Williams. Pass was deflected, though. Still 4:04 left to play in the game, so the Bruins have still a little bit more work to do. Now we'll move to the other side of the baseline, and Glenn will inbound it just off to the left of the hoop. Glenn lobs it up for Williams. Gets it into the corner behind his screen. Glenn a three, hits off the back of the rim. Rebound tapped up, but Key's got the rebound. Key trying to weave his way into the paint, puts up a wild shot, hits off the back of the rim in the glass. Couldn't get it up over the outstretched arms of 6'8" Jordan Jansen that time. Not exactly what you would call quality offense right there for the Bruins. Back the other direction is Chandler Rivers trying to force his way into the lane. Kicks it outside in the corner, pass the ball deflected and stolen by Williams. 3-on-1 back the other way. Poitras up loud with the two-hand flush. Crowd likes that one as Justin Poitras with the exclamation point on this one makes it 71-49. Jumper from Duncanson, left of the lane, no good. Rebound to Poitras, gets it ahead for Glenn. Bruins with numbers again. Glenn drives the lane, layup is up and through. Tamir Glenn. And a timeout for Coach John Jones and the Eagles as the Bruins have their largest lead of the night. It's 24 at 73-49. My goodness. If you've ever seen Justin Poitras before, if you've never seen him before, one of the most athletic kids on this team, my goodness, did he get up there for that one. Absolutely throws it down with authority to give the Bruins this lead and put an exclamation point on what looks like is going to be a big-time win for the Bruins here tonight. 3:01 left to play in the ball game as we take the timeout. We'll keep it here. Poitras, again, tremendously athletic player. Really the first time I think this season we've seen him get out in the open floor on a break like that. And absolutely putting it on the poster that time. I hope marketing director Devin Ferguson sitting down on the baseline underneath the basket where that dunk happened got a good photo of that. If it is, it'll be up on PIUBruins.com by the end of the night. Out of the timeout, it'll be Eagle basketball. Marquise Duncanson will throw it in. Gets it in for Chandler Rivers. Rivers on the far side of the floor. Driving it inside against Weston. Hangs in the air, banks it in off the window. 13 in the game for Rivers. Cuts the deficit to 22 at 73-51. Jared Key into the corner, near side for Williams, to the top for Oliver. Bruins again in no hurry with the clock down towards 2 minutes, 30 seconds to play as Oliver drives the lane. Lost the handle on the basketball, but it's going to be bailed out as Jordan Jansen's going to be whistled for the foul. So Kendall Oliver has had a nice night. We'll go to the free throw line. Oliver's got 7 points in the game. He's 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Reminder coming up next, make sure to stay tuned for our post-game show as Oliver rolls the first free throw in. We'll hear from head coach Josh Howard. We'll also hear from our player of the game. Several candidates for that tonight. Bruins next up will head north to Virginia this weekend to take part in the Bluefield College tournament, where they're going to play against Bluefield State College on Sunday, and then on Monday we'll take on Bluefield College, a team the Bruins saw last Saturday in a 73-62 win. Oliver makes the second. 9 points in the game for him. Jumper by Jansen is way off to the left, and the rebound to Key and the Bruins. Williams leads it ahead for Oliver. Oliver shovels it for Weston. Weston with a reverse layup up and through. 10 in the game for Weston. Joins 3 other Bruin players in double figures. One of the best nights of the season for Weston. Driving it inside is Freeman. Into the corner for Tucker. Up top, an open 3 on the way. Hits off the back of the rim. Rebound tapped up and in, almost accidentally that time by Jansen. 4 points off the bench for Jansen. 77-53 with 1:49 left to play in the ball game. Reminder also, tomorrow night we will have Lady Bruins basketball, as they'll be back here at the Pope Activity Center in Winston-Salem as Jared Key fires a 3. It hits off the back of the rim. Rebound Rolls out of bounds. Last touch off the Bruins, they'll say. It'll be Eagle basketball. The Lady Bruins will take on Johnson and Wales University, not John Wesley, as our PA announcer stated earlier tonight. As I give him a hard time sitting next to me here on my left. That'll be a 6 o'clock tip-off tomorrow night. Corey Glore will have that for you here on the Bruins Sports Network. Jumper on the way is no good, and the rebound for the Bruins. And Justin Poitras, 1 minute and 10 seconds left to play in the ball game as Williams drives the baseline and lays it in. Kenneth Williams gets his first basket. 79-53. The Bruins getting set to improve to 6-10 on the season. Again, before they head up to Virginia for a 2-game event on Sunday and Monday, as Ross Freeman gets his shot rejected by Kendall Oliver. Bruins' next home game on the men's side will come next Wednesday when they'll be back home here to take on Warren Wilson College for the second time this season. Bruins won the first meeting between those two teams. That'll be on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And we'll be on the air with the Bruins Sports Network at 6:55. Jumper on the way, no good for Jansen. Loose ball taken away by Key and the Bruins with 40 seconds left to play. Key in the lane on the baseline. Williams puts it up, rolls off the rim, no good. And the rebound to Freeman and the Eagles. 30 seconds left to play in the ball game. Far side of the floor is Hughes. Hughes then loses the basketball in traffic, and it's out of there to Oliver. Shot clock is off. The Bruins will put up the hold sign, and this will be the ball game. Nice win for the Bruins tonight as they bounce back from the loss on Monday to Newbury College. An overpowering second half, and they win it by 26, 79-53. 79-53 will be the final score as the Bruins pick up the win here tonight over the Eagles and improve to 6-10 on the season. Again, make sure to stay with us in our post-game show. We'll hear from head coach Josh Howard. We'll also hear from our player of the game. That's all still to come as we continue with the Bruins post-game show after this on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live.
Concerts. Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts. That's piedmontu.edu.
Ministry and theological education does not have to force you into mounds of debt, uproot your family, or stifle your current church ministry. Piedmont International University's Temple Baptist Seminary offers flexible online courses and affordable tuition prices with Scripture as its foundation and practical ministry training as its goal. With concentrations like chaplaincy, marriage and family counseling, leadership, missions, expository preaching, discipleship, and more, finding a program is easy to do. Temple Baptist Seminary at Piedmont International University. Ministry where God calls, seminary where you are. For more information about degree programs and offerings, visit piedmontu.edu.
Flash concerts. Piedmont International University presents an evening of worship with Phil Wickham.
Jesus Christ, my living hope.
Enjoy a wonderful evening of worship with Phil Wickham, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First on University Parkway. The concert starts at 7. Doors open at 6. Tickets on sale now. Premium tickets include early entry and artist meet and greet.
This is amazing grace.
It's Phil Wickham in concert, presented by Piedmont International University, Friday, March 1st at Winston-Salem First.
Your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. We give you glory, glory.
For tickets or more information, visit piedmontu.edu/concerts. That's piedmontu.edu/.
Back to courtside here at the Pope Activity Center on the campus of Piedmont International University, where the Bruins men's basketball team picks up their 6th win of the season, knocking off Trinity Baptist College 79-53. As we begin the Bruins post-game show, I'm Dave Shook, and we're joined now by Coach Josh Howard, as well as our co-players of the game this evening. We'll start with Coach Howard. Coach, talking about it just off the air a moment ago, about the energy that the team played with after the opening couple of minutes or so. Just talk about the difference in the game after the first 6 minutes.
Great energy. I think these guys realized that Trinity Baptist came here to get a win. My guys responded well to our halftime talk, and they just took the lead and took off in the second half.
Some of the players I thought really impacted this game were some of the guys maybe you didn't really expect. Tamir was quiet on the offensive end to start the game, but you look at Robert Parks, not always a real threat offensively sometimes, but he made himself a threat tonight, and he was really effective getting to the rim.
Oh, yeah, we definitely let him know he needs to start scoring the ball more, especially the position he's in. Definitely a gifted young man. And like I told him at halftime, when Tamir's not having a great game, we got guys that can step up and fill in for Tamir. Rob is definitely one of the guys that I've seen over the past year that's definitely improved his game. And we definitely going to need that from everybody from this point on.
Parks finishing with 10 points tonight, including a perfect 6 of 6 at the free throw line. Also, I thought Hashim Weston came in off the bench, gave you some good minutes. He finished with 10 points. But the player I really wanted to focus on, Josh Daniels, playing for the first time on Monday, came in and really showed a little bit of what he could do, impacted that game. And then tonight, we called him a whirling tornado of energy on the air earlier. He just seems to be absolutely everywhere on both sides of the floor, whether it's diving into the padding on the baseline, diving into the crowd, whatever the case is. He just seems to be absolutely everywhere at all times.
Yes, and that's what we've been missing. Josh Daniels definitely brings that athleticism to the team. He's definitely a walking scorer as well. So to have him back is definitely a blessing, and the hard work he put in to get back on the court is definitely another blessing as well. So I'm proud of that guy, and all I can do is expect great things from him from here on out.
And now the other player standing to your left is Tamir Glenn, who, again, didn't really do a whole lot offensively in that first half. But then at the end of the first half, I thought he kind of keyed what ultimately was the deciding point in the game, that three-pointer right at the end of the half where he was knocked down shooting it as well, and then had a stretch at the beginning of the second half where he scored about 7 points as well. Just talk about his impact on the game offensively and his improvement as a player from last year.
Well, his improvement from a player, especially from last year, has been tremendous. He's just taken everything I've said and ran with it and really bought into the system. He definitely replaced Nash, who was definitely a missed piece from last year. But for him to continue to grow the way he does and just lead this team the way he does is definitely what we need, again, for this stretch run we have coming up.
And now a big opportunity coming up this weekend to partake in some pseudo postseason type basketball where you're going to play in a tournament up in Virginia. How important are playing in these kind of events for you, especially when you start looking at conference tournaments and national tournaments coming up here pretty shortly?
It's very important. Those tournament play games are good as far as like our atmosphere, our understanding of what we have to do once we get into the regional and hopefully the national tournament. And like I told these guys at the start of the year, I made this schedule for a reason, for the end of the season. So with that being said, they understand, they accepted the challenge, and like I said, I expect great things from this point on.
Big win tonight, Coach. Thanks so much for taking the time. We'll talk to you next Wednesday when you guys get back.
Yes, sir.
That's head coach Josh Howard joining us here, part of our post-game show, and now we'll pass it off to our first of 2 players of the game tonight. We're going to start with Rob Parks. Parks, who finished with 10 points in the ball game tonight. Coach Howard was telling us a few moments ago that Coach really emphasized that he needed to be more of a threat offensively with his team a little bit short-handed right now. Rob, thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes with us. What exactly did Coach say to you? Because going back earlier this season, you weren't really putting the ball on the floor, getting to the rim, and being a real offensive threat. But tonight, you seemed like a totally different player.
Yes, sir. He just said when Tamir is down, just need somebody to step up. So I took on the challenge.
So what was the goal tonight? Because it seemed like you were able to get to the rim, get to the free throw line. What were you trying to do out there offensively tonight?
Just put the ball in the hole. Just try to help the team out the best way I can.
And now as this game moved along, after the first couple of minutes, it was kind of a back-and-forth game, but then all of a sudden you really keyed that run in the first half that helped put some separation between you guys and the Eagles. Talk about the energy change after about the first 6 minutes of this game and how much you guys picked it up.
Well, our defense really picked it up. That's all that matters. We play defense as a team. I think everything else could control itself.
Defensively, a lot of deflections, a lot of steals, like you mentioned. Is that kind of this team's identity sometimes, it seems like, on the defensive end?
Yes, sir. If we play team defense, everything else is just going to go his way.
Big win tonight for you guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck this weekend up in Virginia.
All right, thank you.
That's Rob Parks, one of our 2 players of the game tonight, finishing with 10 points. He was one of 4 players to finish in double figures as the Bruins knock off the Eagles from Trinity Baptist College 79-53. And now we'll talk with Tamir Glenn, the co-player of the game tonight, finished with a team high and a game high 13 points for the Bruins tonight. Tamir, thanks for joining us. Talk to us a little bit about this matchup tonight for you guys. Coming out a little bit early on, you had some struggles offensively. Your teammates picked you up, but then right at the end of that right at the end of the first half, when you had that three-pointer where you got knocked down shooting it, how big was it for you and for the team to knock that down right at the end and go into the halftime with a 10-point lead?
You know, it was a confidence booster. I needed that. My team boosted me, before, but that shot really helped my confidence.
And then moving into the start of the second half, you seemed like you were kind of back to your old self, finishing with 10 more points over the course of the last 20 minutes or so as that game kind of broke out for you guys over the last 15 minutes or so. Talk about the change in this game. We were asking Coach and Rob about it as well. But after the first 6 minutes, it seemed like you guys really picked up the energy level on both ends.
Coming out, I told them in the huddle, we should have been up 20, but we were knocking down shots. So I told them to come with energy, and we did. And the press worked, we got the steals, and we all came together.
Talking with Tamir Glenn after a 79-53 win tonight over the Eagles. Tamir, we're talking with Coach Howard both on Monday and today about you maybe being the most improved player on this team from a season ago, having to replace a lot of the scoring that Nash Carter brought to this group a year ago. What was your mindset coming into this season? Did Coach really emphasize with you that you needed to be a bigger part of this offense?
Yes, sir. After the season ended last year, he told me. So I got in the gym and I started working. You know, I'm just blessed to be able to come out and provide for this team like I have.
How do you guys feel like the team is progressing to this point? Now we're moving into the second half of the season. You're starting to see a lot of your conference opponents. How do you guys feel like you've grown from game 1 to tonight?
Oh, yeah. The games was easier. This is a whole lot easier, but, you know.
It's a little bit different than playing against Charleston Southern and those types, right?
Yeah, we're going to go on a run. This our time.
You guys have a tournament coming up this weekend in Virginia. It's an opportunity to kind of play in a postseason type environment before you get ready to go into the regional and national tournaments. How important are playing in those type of events before you go into the postseason?
I think it's very important. You know, I just hope the snow doesn't mess it up.
Let's all hope for that, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Tamir, congratulations on the win tonight. You finished with 13 points, a team high. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week when you get back.
Thank you.
79-53 is the final score. Tamir Glenn, our player of the game, joining us here at courtside as the Bruins pick up the win today over the Eagles from Trinity Baptist College. That's the story from here. Again, 4 players in double figures for the Bruins, led by Tamir Glenn's 13 points. Hashim Weston and China Jones and Robert Parks each with 10 points to lead the way. Kendall Oliver just behind him with 9 points in the ball game. Colton Bishop, Josh Daniels each with 7. And then 4 points for Antoine Robinson, 3 in the game for Curtis Coleman, 2 for Kenneth Williams, and also 4 for Justin Poitras, including the play of the night with that big, huge dunk to win at the end of the game for the Bruins, who improved to 6-10 on the season. Again, they'll be in action up in Virginia, part of a two-game tournament in Virginia against Bluefield State College as well as Bluefield University on Sunday and Monday before the Bruins will come back home on Wednesday to take on Warren Wilson College. We'll have that one here for you on Wednesday night here on the Bruins Sports Network. But a reminder that coming up next for us on the Bruins Sports Network will be tomorrow night, when the women's team will be back home looking to make it 2 straight wins this week as they welcome in Johnson & Wales University for a 6 o'clock tip. Will be on the air. Corey Glore will have the call for that one beginning at just before 6 o'clock, about 5:55 here on the Bruins Sports Network. So once again, for everybody who took part in our broadcast, we appreciate you tuning in and listening or watching from wherever you are. For our producer engineer, Erica Washburn, our supervising engineer, Mason Cox, and our camera operator tonight, Adrian Gonzalez, I'm Dave Shook, reminding you once again the final score here tonight, 79-53. The Bruins knock off Trinity Baptist College to move to 6-10 on the season, and you saw it right here on the Bruins Sports Network from Carolina Sports Live. Good night, everybody.
Hey!